The trial is over. The verdict is in. Chicago jury found the former Empire actor guilty. Pretty much a sweeping verdict, 5 of 6 counts related to lying to police about being the victim of a hate-driven attack. He is now facing up to 3 years in prison. We'll see what ultimately the judge hands down as far as the sentence goes. I have to tell you, I was a little surprised here because, and maybe it has nothing to do with the facts, believe it or not. Maybe surprise isn't even the right word. It has nothing to do with the facts. I find the American justice system mostly reprehensible. I don't want to even sit in judgment of the facts of this case because I don't believe. You could think whatever you want about what Jussie did, because now they've said he's guilty, these jurors, but don't call it justice, okay, because that's not what it's called when there is an agreement from a friendly and really a family friend. What was she, Attorney General? Whatever Kim Foxx was,
I think she was prosecutor.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
It's
Kim
early.
Foxx, yeah.
Prosecuting attorney. She said they weren't going to go forward with this, and as you know, that she had sweeping power, as most people do. But because he is a black man, and I don't believe it had to do with celebrity, I think that people said, "No way is he going to get away with this." When we see white people in the justice system get away with things all the time, so he essentially paid $10,000, that bail money that he forfeited. He did some community service and he went about his business. But a la Cosby, some said, oh, no, we're going to make an example out of you. And I'm fine with making an example out of people and public shaming, okay? If you believe he did this and now the jury said he did, then he brought it on himself. But that's not where we're at. We should never even be having a trial, and I'm stuck there. And I think one of the reasons, the major driving force is because not going to let this black man, this fancy pants, is strutting to Chicago, and he's not about to thumb his nose. No way. And that's just the way I feel about it. So he'll be sentenced, and they'll probably throw the book at him because, again, he is, you know, you got to make an example out of him. He'll appeal because that's what they do. That's what you're supposed to do. But I just think this whole thing is pathetic, and it's further evidence of 2 forms of justice, even when you're a rich, famous black man.
Well, I let my thoughts be known early on. I didn't think they should have gone to trial for some of the same reasons you're talking about with Kim Foxx. They had an agreement, or they had dropped the charges. But I don't think this has, honestly, I'm just going to little pushback. You know, you have a right to your opinion, and I'd be foolish enough to think that his race didn't have a little something to do with it. But I think it's more about his popularity. I think it's more about his fame. I think it's more about the exposure that this got in the media coming out. If people remember when he first came out with the allegations, people were in an uproar. I mean, everybody was speaking out about it. I'm talking about famous people. We're talking about, I think, Michelle Obama spoke out. Somebody spoke out about it. It was Kamala Harris put out a tweet about it. So I think the city of Chicago was under attack in a sense, and they felt under attack. And I think if he wasn't a famous black man, I don't think that they would have gone through with this prosecution. I think if he was Jussie Smollett or Jesse Jackson, not that Jesse Jackson, but another Jesse Jackson, I don't think they would have gone through with this prosecution. I think it's because of all the notoriety, all of the publicity that this particular case got. And the only thing that makes me think that another thing that race didn't really have a lot to do with is because I think it may have put, and a lot of people are looking at this, a lot of black people turned on Jussie Smollett as well. A lot of people in the gay community and the LGBTQ community turned on Jussie Smollett as well. And I think because of that, a lot of people felt like if he was lying, indeed lying, and the jury said he was, that it may have made it harder for people who really have gone through something like this. I'm not saying he didn't, because I don't know, but the jury said he didn't. It makes it harder for them when they make these claims or whatnot, when they come forward as well.